I have a surprise for you, Aunt.
What?
I got it. Finally, I have that sound effect.
Here we go again. We're back to
I'm
this.
actually more excited that I just found sound effects to have now.
How did you find these?
I was actually looking for an app on my phone.
Oh, so you were actively looking for
not for a
effects.
soundboard though. I was looking for an
Okay.
app to control our videocaster.
Okay.
So this app is made by Rode, and it looked like what I wanted, and it turned out to be a soundboard.
Okay. Well,
So
there you go.
welcome to the Dodge and Burn podcast. Yeah, I know.
Lord, I haven't had a Celsius yet. Maybe I should get one.
Oh, I didn't even have a drink yet. This is like no good.
If you guys can't tell, we actually removed our white table that was there. It was just, I don't know. What do you think? It was a little inconvenient.
Yeah, and I just thought of something like, where am I going to put my drink now? I guess I have to like.
Yeah, you can put it by your computer.
That's true. I should probably stop playing with these now, though, right?
Yeah. What's going on, bro?
Nada.
What's
I
new?
am. I've had a really good week actually.
I never know with you. You text me, you're like, bro, I'm about to have a horrible weekend. And then I come and see you. I had a great week.
I thought it was not going to be a good weekend of weddings, and well, one of them I knew was going to be good, but one of them I very much thought it was going to be awful.
Skeptical.
And it turned out the person I was talking to, my contact, was just way overzealous, and I'm a little annoyed about it actually.
He was just nervous, maybe.
No, I
No?
think this person likes drama. They wanted it to be. They wanted it to
one
feel a
of
little
those.
dramatic, and it turned out to be
Okay.
fine. So
Okay. Nice.
yeah,
Yeah. How was, wait, did you get caught in the rain? I feel like it's been raining for like the past week.
it has been surprisingly. It has not like affected any shoots or weddings we've had.
Oh, that's good.
Not to mention the shoot we were doing most of last week was a product shoot. So
I don't know if you struggle with this, but I've like I won't say I've struggled with this, but I feel like I've more recently have a lot of couples just be like, we really want to know what the rain backup plan is. But I don't know, when you shoot in the city, and let's say you just have a regular venue, it doesn't have anything too crazy inside, like, do you just say, hey, we're gonna shoot in your venue? Or like I personally always go to either under City Hall or inside of that escalators by the Lowe's Hotel. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, definitely, I love those spots, and it's sort of like especially in the city, there's always cool spots you can go.
Yeah.
At least put the couple under an overhang. Like I have no problem getting wet. Like
Yeah.
gear can get wet to
Yeah.
a degree, but like
Well,
I
don't tell
usually
that to
just
your Leica.
well, yeah, well, that's not a start. But I just sort of say like, we will find a spot. You guys will be dry.
Yeah.
Like we'll make it work.
But what's the spot? Like what are some spots we can like give some photographers in case they don't know?
I mean,
'Cause those are my two spots.
well, I like those spots. My go-to, what I kind of been doing now, especially with that Pro Photo that we both love so much, that little, what is it, A2?
Mm-hmm.
I have a little softbox for that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just find a blank wall,
Mm.
and shoot it.
Cover, but where's the cover? Where's the cover?
I mean, it could be in the venue. It
In
could
the
be
venue, okay,
anywhere.
okay.
Just find a nice sort of backdrop, and I almost do it like a studio shoot.
Okay.
I've only had to do that like twice, but honestly, the photos came out really good.
Yeah.
And that's like my backup plan.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten any pushback to that.
Yeah.
You named like the two like ideal spots, I think.
Absolutely.
Second bank,
Second bank. True.
that works too, unless
That's
it's
a great
like
idea.
unless
Yeah.
it's like a downpour.
Sure.
Generally, if it's like a downpour, I'm sort of like, why don't we wait for this to at least cool off a little bit?
Yeah, and I would say too, like any new photographer that's kind of like listening to this podcast, another good source is to just like DM like one of your favorite photographers and be like, hey, I actually don't know where to possibly go to shoot some outdoor portraits in the rain. Could you give me some advice, or what do you like? You know what I mean? Like that's sort of what I did in the beginning because I had no fucking idea.
We still do that with like the infamous group chat I talk about. It's
Yeah.
like, hey guys, I'm here. It's
Exactly.
pouring. Like, you guys have good spot recommendations. So
Exactly.
But I also like exploring and like kind of finding our own spots sometimes. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't,
exactly.
I used to like just like, before we would shoot at a venue early on, I would look it up, not even Instagram, just look it up on Google and see the
Yeah.
photo. I'm like, okay, this is a good spot. This is a good spot.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just taking pictures that someone else has taken. So now it's sort of like, I'm going to just figure out where the light's good.
Exactly.
And use that.
Yeah, man. So last week, bro.
I'm excited for this.
So last week we did something on our Instagram called, and we did this before. We did something called book or not book. Now, this time we did it again, but we wanted to make it a little bit more spicy, right?
And we got equally good spicy responses to this too.
Exactly. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask you the question because I don't know if you really saw all the questions.
I didn't, and I specifically started looking at them, and I'm like, wait, I should not look at these because I want to be able to answer them.
So I'm gonna ask you the question. You tell me how you feel, and I'll tell you how I feel.
Perfect.
And then we can maybe read the answers after that.
Definitely should read the
Hell
answers,
yeah.
especially the one that you know.
Right here. Let's see.
New iPad case?
No, it's the same case.
Oh, no, I'm just unobservant, which my wife tells me all the time, but that's fine.
I actually have it on my phone. I'm gonna pull up that way. It's a little
Cool.
bit easier. So one of the first questions was, I asked openly. I said they openly admit, and this is directed to the from the client to the photographer. So they openly admit they will hire you because you're cheaper than the photographer they actually wanted. Would you book or not book that client?
That's not like an immediate no from me, but it is kind of like
Strange.
it's weird. It's like, oh, you're saying that out loud.
All right.
You're saying the quiet part out loud. I don't know. I think that would rub me the wrong way enough that I would probably be like, you know what, like,
Right.
you're price hunting,
Yeah.
so am I like the budget version of what you really wanted? So I think in that instance I'd be like, no, sorry.
Really? See,
Unless they're like super cool and like maybe they're just like quirky. I don't know.
but I would say yes to that because the thing is, your prices are already expensive.
Right.
So that must mean whoever they inquired with must be at least $1,000 or $2,000 more than your current pricing. So wouldn't that just be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I need to raise my prices, or yeah, you're just paying my services.
I mean, yeah.
It is weird though.
It's
To like openly say that.
yeah.
I feel like that happens though. It probably happens a lot.
Well, what I say to that is
Ew.
that was not the button I meant to push. It's a guy
What
throwing
was
up. Wait, I didn't mean to push that one. Wait, where's the one I wanted to push?
Yo, don't give this guy any new toys.
There we
man.
go.
There we go. Okay, that's pretty
Not
good.
booking.
Not booking.
Nope. Flush that
Actually,
inquiry.
we should have a sound effect for book or
Wait,
not book.
okay, so that's not book. Flush that inquiry, and then book can be. I need a good one here. What's
Nah. What? What the hell? Is that a monkey?
the monkey?
Nah. Oh yeah, I like that.
kiss it.
I
All right,
like that.
kiss
I
it.
like that. I
Book
like
or not
that.
book? All right, so if we're gonna book, we say.
That is fucking weird though.
Yeah,
That is no. Let's do
I know.
applause or something.
What if?
Let's do a DJ's.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Oh yeah,
That's
there we
book,
go. That's
and then
book.
I got to go all the way over to this other page, and this is not book.
There we go.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's hear the next one.
So wait, before we do that, I wanted to read some of the responses.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
Let me pull that up.
The some people's responses are just like absolute. It's not even like a
Right.
well, if this, because I feel like we got that a lot the last time we did this, and some of these responses were just like, fuck no.
So some people said, yes, I like money. Another person said, taking that money but rolling my eyes real hard. And then another person said, which I agreed with, is they said raise the prices immediately after and keep the booking. That was actually from our friend Haley. Another person said, we are suddenly booked or not a great fit. Doesn't feel great for either party, in my opinion.
I'm just worried if I booked that,
Yeah.
I would just be the whole time. I'd be like thinking about that,
Oh, absolutely.
which is like
Yeah.
so. All right, so I'm gonna ask you one of these now.
Okay.
I think if we just bounce it back and forth, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
And this this one made me laugh too, because all right, the couple, book or not book,
Yes.
the couple insist on using their own contract because they had their lawyer, quote unquote, they had their lawyer write one up.
Hell no. That's fucking weird.
That's weird, right?
That has never happened to me, but I feel like that does happen probably.
Also, like
Especially if you have like a dad or a mom that's a lawyer.
our lawyer wrote ours up.
Right.
You know, it's
what do you think happened here?
I'm not entirely sure why your lawyer would be more adept at this than mine, but that's fine.
But at the same time, the thing is, it's so tricky because when you deal with someone like that, I feel like there's going to be so many more things down the road that are just going to be strange or like that throw you off.
Yeah.
So do you just avoid all of that in the sense, or do you just accept that and take the money and read over the contract?
Here's what I would do. I would honestly, before I responded to anything, I'd read the contract.
Okay.
And like sometimes I would imagine that it's probably super similar
Of
to our
course.
contract because there's only so many things you can put in a photography contract.
What if they said the only stipulation is send us all the Ross?
Absolutely not. Or I would say I would do it. I would do this. I would say, like, hey, can we change section 11? Have you ever gotten that email?
Section 11.A.
Yeah. So I'd like it to read, please send, or something about sending the raws for an additional $3,000. Like,
Ooh.
there we go.
What if they said yes?
Done.
Oh, okay.
You want to pay for the raws? But
Go ahead.
take them. Yeah. You know. But let me read some of the responses.
Okay.
Oh, I love this too because I can see who wrote them.
Exactly.
Now. My favorite one of any response we got was just simply, "Go fuck yourself," which would be my
I was say, that would be your response.
You won't always be someone first option. There are so many creatives in this. Something else.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's just it's a pass for me, bro. And now I think about it, I'm like, I'm not even gonna deal with that. Just go. Yeah.
You know what to do with that? You know what to do with that email?
ChatGPT.
Flush that
that's
shit.
flush there exactly.
Yeah, flush that shit.
All right, let me read one more. Maybe you could read one more.
All right, cool.
So this next one was they want to book their own second shooter. Book or not book? That's fucking crazy.
That might even be an email that I just didn't respond to. Just like, the Homer Simpson back into the bushes.
Yeah.
meme.
Oh, right. Exactly.
Like, yeah, I'm not touching that. I'm like, no, not happening.
Oh man, bro. I honestly, yeah, that's crazy. Like, what? Who? First of all, who's the second shooter? Your nephew, John? Like, someone.
That's
right?
like what
That's
I'm
probably
like,
what it is. Like, oh, my little nephew.
My little nephew Stevie was trying to get some experience in the wedding
Be
industry.
your second photographer. Yeah, fuck no.
Sorry, Stevie.
I would pass on that.
Yeah, hard pass.
Some of those just, yeah, exactly. Some of the responses.
And then wait, and also vacuum that shit up after I tear it up. That one's a little bit of a stretch, but we'll go with it.
Yo, so literally everyone said weird, go fuck yourself, no way. And then one person said, well, it depends, I guess. And I'm like, I should have responded to that. Be like, what do you mean by that?
Have you shot around before? All right, I got one more for you here. This one annoyed me just reading.
Yeah.
They asked for references from at least 5 previous couples.
Okay.
I mean,
if you don't say the answer I'm thinking you're gonna say, I'm gonna be shocked.
oh sure, let me reach out to all my old couples and tell them to like talk to this. Absolutely fucking not. Like,
Oh, so no book.
no.
Why don't
Like,
we just-
let me rephrase that.
Okay.
Hey, we have tons of reviews on
There we
Google.
go.
We
Exactly.
have like, I took this to mean like they want,
Like a reference letter.
yeah, they want like, yeah, which no, but like,
Honestly,
hey,
I wouldn't be surprised if those $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million weddings. Do you think that's a thing?
no,
Okay.
there's no way that's a thing. Like Google reviews,
Go reviews. Go read my reviews.
the Knot, which fuck the Knot, but like
Yeah.
there's still people leave reviews for us on there. Like,
Yeah.
go look at that. We just got, you were talking about the last episode. We just got like one of the best reviews we've ever gotten, which was,
Oh yeah.
it was it was a good review because they were really nice and enjoyed it, but like they just sort of like encapsulated exactly how
You are on a
want
wedding day.
I want the two of us to be viewed on a wedding day. And I was
Yeah.
like, fucking nailed it. Yes.
Wait, wasn't it in the? It was in that Facebook group, huh?
Wait, the Facebook group that they deny us from joining. I was like, wait, this is this is not meant to be a tangent, but it's a funny story that I have to tell. Is like, you found that on that, or someone you know found it on
Philly
the group.
Brides.
Yes,
The Philly Brides Facebook
and they
group,
screenshot
yeah.
it and sent it to you. You sent it to me, and I was like, Philly Brides. Oh, okay, look, I want to see it, so I went to join it, and immediately got denied.
Denied.
Magda got denied. You got denied. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
They
Like,
know we're trying to come in there for the tea.
Right. So I
They-
was like,
they
what
know
do we
it,
do
they
to piss
know.
these people? And they're like, they saw a bunch of photographers. They're like, no, we're not letting you
We're
on.
not letting you guys in.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
All right, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. But yeah, so we got that review and it was like, it was awesome. But going back to this question, like,
Yeah,
go look on Google. Like, there's tons of
Literally.
reviews there.
literally.
But let me,
What do the people say?
they said what I said. Someone just wrote www.google.com.
I like that one.
Or someone just said, read my review. So read my reviews.
Just read my reviews.
Someone said, definite no. Look up Google for reviews. This is 2025, which is sort of
Literally.
like the confusion I got into. Someone else just said, bye.
Bye.
And I'm reading it in that person's voice.
Wait, that's not how you say bye?
Not generally.
No.
Bye. I'll do that one. Again, no, my couple's already left reviews, and if that's not good enough, I'm not.
Yeah. So it's a consensus.
Yeah, but everyone is
yeah.
sort of saying the other thing. I'm seeing if there's, so pretty much that. But actually, it's funny you brought that up, or
Yeah.
this question came up, because you and I were chatting about this a little bit,
Mhm.
and then we sort of like decided to save it for the pod. But like, let's talk about reviews in general, because
Yeah.
I feel like people who don't own their own businesses or don't do what we do don't quite understand the gravitas of
Absolutely.
a good or even a bad review.
Absolutely. And honestly, before I started a business, like I would leave reviews on like, Amazon, like stuff I would buy on
Yeah, yeah.
Amazon, stuff like that. But like once I started a business, I truly understood how important a good review and a bad review is, right?
Yeah.
Either one could make or break your entire business.
I would even go ahead to say that, a good review is great, but a bad review is worse than a good review is good. Does that make sense? Yeah,
One
yeah.
bad review, one honest bad review, I should say it like that, because I think I told you this in the past. I had someone leave a bad review who I've never worked with in the past, but just was being spiteful. But, an honest bad review can truly, truly destroy your business.
And full disclosure, like in our DMs for our Instagram, like we've gotten quite a few
yeah.
DMs about, specific people, like, talk about this person because this happened. And I'm always curious. I'm like, oh, like, tell me more. And it's
Yeah.
always like, well, it didn't happen to me. It happened to my friend.
Exactly.
And I'm like, all right, then shut up. Like,
And we actually, I think I just sent you one that was from the Philly Brides group about
yeah.
a wedding planner that we all know.
Yes, it was.
It was shocking.
It was rough. It was,
It was
very rough.
shocking. It was like
yeah.
at least 4 paragraphs just talking.
Well, it was
Bad.
but what got me more so than that, because obviously that is a terrible review, but like the comments of all these people who had
Right.
similar experiences.
Similar experience? Right.
And here's the deal. Anytime someone is leaving a review about a vendor or talking about a vendor, if the first thing is, this happened to my friend, or my friend had this happen to them, I discount it. And it's not for any other reason that, like, you know how whisper down the lane works.
Right.
And when someone's upset, they may express feelings and emotions that might be a little heightened.
Exactly.
And when you're a friend, you don't know that.
You're just
like,
trying to back up your friend and you don't know the true story.
and as the person who it may have happened to, sometimes when you cool down and like, this still bothers me, but I'm not like heated. Let's talk about it.
Exactly.
So I anytime it's like one person removed, I'm like, I am not listening to
Take it
any
with a
of
grain
that.
of salt.
But most of these were
Yeah.
not that. And this is innocent until proven guilty kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it's the thing we were talking about is the fact that someone did write this. I cannot confirm nor deny if this is a thing that really happened or what the circumstances were. But the concept they were discussing, I thought, is something that I've recently changed my mind a little bit on, which was basically like, this person cares way more about sort of the famous people or the more popular people that they're working for, rather than just like the everyday wedding client.
Right. And I feel like Simon and I are both, the reason why our businesses are so good is because we don't treat one specific client differently
Correct.
than the other client. Like every client should be treated the same, whether it's $1,000 client or a $20,000 client.
Right. I think where the tricky part for me comes in is, like, let's say you did book one of those just everyday wedding clients, like you guys vibe, it's going to be a fun wedding and stuff. And then someone reaches out to you, and I'm not talking about just like a wedding that's going to be nicer and more expensive. I mean, like someone who is, if you shoot this wedding, is going to make your business do better, like immediately.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
holy shit, they hired Aunt Paige to shoot this wedding. Holy shit.
Right.
What do you do? you know, and
Yeah.
it's
It's just a challenge.
and it's a real question because
Yeah.
when you look at it from an outsider's perspective, it's sort of like, oh, well, you have to stay with the client you booked initially. But when you look at it in terms of separating, this is going to set my business up like in a way that I could not do without shooting this wedding.
Sure.
Then you have to, then it comes to, you know, a thought process of like, because my immediate mind goes to, in fact, this happened to Jose Villa, and he's written about it, so I don't feel bad saying it, but I think it was for the Justin Bieber wedding.
Okay.
He was supposed to shoot someone else's wedding, and granted, the someone else he was shooting was also paying him
Millions.
not millions, but exorbitant amounts of money. So I think
How much do you think he charges?
I don't even want to.
100K. That's got to be.
And most of that stuff is custom packages too. It's not just like, and it's
Because he's like in terms of it's so funny whenever I'm on Instagram I always see something like that's like, let's say a hockey highlight, people in the comments would be like, explain this in NBA terms.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So like I feel like he in celebrity terms is like, oh man, who would you say? Like I wouldn't say Michael Jordan or like LeBron, but maybe Scotty. Nah, not Scotty. Maybe
It's hard because
who would you say he is?
well, first of all,
And I don't even know him.
Well, first of all, you're using basketball players terms, which
I know.
immediately is lost
Oh my
on
God.
me.
Okay,
So-
let's do chess for you.
Chess. I'll go like Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham.
I don't know why I like Randall Cunningham.
Okay, well,
But hold on, back to what I was getting at because I'm going to lose my thought. So like, what he ended up doing was he refunded the couple completely.
Justin Bieber.
No. Well, I know he got Justin Bieber, and I'm again,
Wait, what's the premise of what happened?
he was booked for a wedding,
Okay.
and then he was asked to shoot Bieber's wedding,
Okay.
and I think it was,
Oh, and then the couple that that already paid him,
so
he gave them a
basically,
refund.
and
Okay.
I feel like and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but it's public knowledge. I forget if he got Justin Bieber to pay for this too, or
Yeah.
he did it. But basically,
Sure.
what ended up happening is he refunded the couple,
Yeah.
hired. I'm trying to remember which photographer it was, but he hired another insane photographer
Sure.
to shoot their wedding, and he paid for it. So
That's
basically, they
crazy.
got this other guy for free at their wedding,
Yeah.
and then they were happy. They're like, "Oh, like we just saved,
treated us
just
as-
saved like $50K."
Yeah. He
And then
treated us the same.
and then he did that, and then he
Right.
went and shot the other wedding. And I feel like
Exactly.
that is like, I think out of all the ways you could handle a situation like that, that is like the playbook.
Absolutely. And it's, again, like I feel like people that have a business or that are starting a business don't truly understand the power, again, of reviews,
Yeah.
which boils down to it. And it's funny to put a more like a funnier tone on this. So I don't know if you feel this way, but like when I send a client, because this kind of falls into reviews. So when I send a client a gallery, are you the same like me where you are like patiently waiting for them to be like, oh my God, this is the best gallery I've ever received? Because I got a text the other day from a bride, and she was just like basically like, hey, you did a good job. I expected nothing less. And I was like,
I kind of like that too, though.
oh, okay.
I don't know. That one would make me feel pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just like someone hired me because they like knew that what I did was good work, and then I did that good work, and they're like, "That's what I expected." Great. Like,
But then I got a text the next day from another gallery that I had just sent, and the bride was like, and oh my God, I can happy cry right now. I'm so excited. These photos are so good. This is exactly what I wanted. And I'm just like, yeah, that feels good.
here's the only here's my like the way I judge it. Like, I don't sit there like with bated breath unless it was like a portfolio wedding. Then I'm like, okay, I need someone to tell me this was good.
Yeah.
Also, I have Magda, so it's like,
Well,
we can look at that together and be like, this is great. We know this is great work, whatever. So the only time I get nervous is if you don't get that email of any
or
kind
text or anything.
and they don't post it.
post.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a lot of the times, like,
But they still probably love their photos.
right.
They're just.
But a lot of times like sometimes I won't get that email, but then they'll write some glowing thing on Instagram with all the photos, and then all of their friends comment, "These photos are beautiful." I'm like, all right, we're good. But like, yes, no, I totally, that's one of the things. But like, I don't know. As far as reviews go, it's just But
Anyway,
I think
yeah,
we said what we said.
exactly. So I don't know if you realize this. So this is actually episode 19.
Well,
You know what that means? We got one more, and then we made it. We made it to 20, baby. It's been a year.
Trade secret. This is technically episode 20.
Well, technically, but
we had one episode we didn't air
exactly
because of things.
Things happen, you know. But with that being said, episode 20, we actually are planning on doing a giveaway, which we're going to be super excited to discuss the week of the episode dropping. So,
and it's a pretty cool one, I think.
Yeah.
A better one than we've done in the past. So
exactly.
But we're not going to tell you what it is. So you have to. You're going to have to check You have to check our Instagram,
subscribe, and comment.
Yeah, and there'll be some instructions of other things you have to do for this giveaway. So
yeah,
it'll be fun. I'm excited.
So I wanted to talk to you about something else that I've actually been having more conversations about in like more recent times, which is kind of figuring out why there is such a trend leaning towards, I'm sorry, I wouldn't even say trend. I guess I could say trend, but why is it becoming more, I guess clients wanting more of trendy photos in their gallery versus like the timeless classic photos? Because I feel like those type of trendy photographers are emerging out of nowhere. And to be honest, they're taking up a lot of our clients, and clients want to see that direct flash. They want to see those blurry photos. They want to see those crooked angles. They want to see even drone shots, which is something that has emerged over the last year, honestly. So
definitely.
I'm curious to see, like, what are your thoughts? Do you consider yourself to be a trendy photographer, timeless photographer? Because I don't know what I am, honestly. I think I'm a mix of both.
Well, I think you have to look at this with a certain set of like glasses, if you will. I think on the one hand, you have to understand that when you look at it through a lens, I guess that's a better way to say it, everything is kind of a trend. What we consider to be classic.
What do you mean everything's considered a trend? What does that mean?
Because it's I get a picture of an image in my head when you say classic wedding image. And while that has been around for a while, that sort of idea of a classic look dropped off for a while.
What's your vision of a classic look?
Classic look is just sort of like a not overly heavy-handed edits.
I agree.
Definitely just, it's basically like getting the moment that you're trying to capture, whether that be a portrait, whether that be a candid shot, and then not doing a whole shit ton to the photo after that. It's like...
So you're more so on the, for you, timeless is more on the edit side.
I think...
Because to me, it's more of the like in the moment kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Explain.
So when, let's say we have a bride and groom, instead of giving them a prompt like, okay, I want you to now talk to your girl and tell her 5 things you love about her, or guys, I want you to get airplanes and put them in the air and run towards me. Like that's to me is the more trendier side.
So what you're talking about is what I have heard referred to as a performative side of weddings,
which I think falls into the trendy.
Absolutely. I think that there is definitely a sect of photographers that are very much pushing against that very hard right now and trying to not make weddings performative, which I very much agree with.
Right.
I guess it all goes back to like, we have a style that we shoot, and when quote unquote trends come in, some of them I posted on our Instagram the other day, like the Dutch angle. I go, I'm not fucking doing that.
Wait, let me phrase this question like this. What is one timeless thing you love about weddings, and what's one trendy thing you love about weddings? And then I can tell you one thing I hate about each.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, timeless things that I still love about weddings is the shot of the bride walking down the aisle, the back, like no matter
the wide shot with the dress,
the wide shot with the dress.
Okay.
No matter how you angle it, whatever you want to do with that, that is a timeless photo. You see that photo from, you know, the 40s and 50s up till now.
And what's funny, the trendy photo to that is
I know where you're going with this.
the blurred as they're walking. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I was thinking that, but also what you were talking about, the drone shot.
The
where
drone
it's
shot
that,
too,
but it's
right.
higher up. And
Exactly,
honestly,
exactly.
it's a drone shot, but I still find that to be a classic image.
Really?
I do, yes.
How?
I've seen that shot taken, at venues that have a high up perch that you can walk up to.
Okay.
And that shot taken. Didn't need a drone. And this was before drones. So that photo is still one that I look at and I think this is a classic image. And again, everything's subjective.
True.
But I like that. And then the trendy stuff I really like. I am really into the black and white, wider angle, like living in the moment kind of style, which I would say is documentary, but we've talked about Greg Williams. He's like one of my favorite photographers. And I said this in a previous episode, but he considers his style to be more of a participant than he is an observer.
Yeah, which I love.
And like that, I feel like is really in trend right now. Like it's, the party shots that everyone likes right now.
Yeah.
There are a lot of the times they're looking at the camera.
Right.
And it's like someone behind the camera said, hey, look over here. And it's like they pose or do something. Like I would consider that to be trendy.
I would agree. And even like shooting portraits, like full body portraits on a 24 millimeter lens in direct sunlight. And
I have a very
trendy.
I have a very specific reason I think that's happening right now. And I actually was talking to someone on Threads about this the other day. I think that we have a generation that has grown up with iPhones. An iPhone, the field of view it used to be 28, now it's 24.
True. And even Instagram is changing.
Yep. And you can't really get a good shot if you backlight someone on an iPhone.
True.
So you do it in full sunlight, which is also how most people back in the day would shoot film, because it wasn't really this glowy backlight. It was more like you need more light on the subject.
Yeah.
So I think
is this a trend to stay, you think?
I don't know if it's a trend to stay, but I feel like that is 100% why people that are getting married now are drawn to it, because that is a field of view that they are used to seeing themselves in. And then to have that field of view, but like with better lighting or like direct sun, which is kind of like that with better colors. Like I feel like that is comfortable to them.
And I wonder what your field of view, like looking out of your eyes when you're looking at a subject, like what is the aperture that you see?
Well, aperture
is that's something too that's also like I feel like a lot of photographers are shooting way above like 3, even 4.5 for like aperture.
Oh yeah, I mean like it's just
for portraits.
Great depth of field. Everything's in focus, which I don't mind. I am the kind of person that like I'm the shrill for shallow depth of field, and I've tried to get away with it, and I do like with wider angle lenses, but like when I'm shooting like a 50 or something, like I'm opening that shit up. Like
you remember the trend back in the day when we had the what was it, the 5D Mark IVs and 5D Mark IIIs, and then the nifty 50, that big boy came out at 1.2. Everybody went crazy, and then they just shot all their weddings at 1.2.
I own the Sony 1.2.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this before, and I don't want to get heavy into a gear conversation, but I'm shooting a lot of the day with the 28 to 70, which only opens to f2, so you're not really doing too much with that. But on the other side, I have the 51 too, and I'm only shooting that at 1.2, but I'm also only using that when I need 1.2, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of this is coming from the iPhone.
No, that's a great point. I didn't even think about it like that. And to kind of feed off of that. So I know we just said one thing we liked from timeless weddings and one thing from trendy. So now one thing that I hate from timeless weddings is, I want to say it's because there are couples that want that, right? There's couples that want hey, we don't want to do anything too fancy. Just like come in, take a couple of portraits and just keep going with the day. So to me, the one thing that I hate, which you kind of see sometimes, is they're boring. Like you don't get to be creative. And that's what I hate, because like, I don't know what I consider myself. I don't know if I'm a timeless, maybe it's a hybrid. I'm a timeless trendy photographer. I don't really do too much of the trendy, but I do some trendy things on a wedding day. But
I'm also going to throw this out there, and it's not meant to sound like a dig. It's actually a good thing. It's that this is your 4th season.
Yeah, 4th season full time.
4th season. So this is my 11th. I don't think that I found my stride in like what I'm like, this is how I shoot, until like 2 or 3 years ago, to be honest with you. Like you try stuff and then you look back on it and you go, Because there's stuff that I shot when we started that I look at, I'm like, I still love that. Maybe not the edit, but like, I still love that. And there's stuff I looked at we shot, I'm like, oh.
But the problem is that I'm seeing is that's great to think like that, but if you don't go with the times, you're gonna be left behind. Like they're like one of my good friends, like Rachel Rachel Rosenstein. You probably met her.
Mm-hmm.
Great photographer. I love her. She's a great person. And I was asking her like the other day, I was like, oh, so like what does 2026 look like for you? She's like, I already have like 35 weddings booked already.
Jesus.
And I'm like, God damn, like, oh, how?
She's the only one.
She's definitely not the only one.
Although we got like 11 inquiries this week.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I
Probably
don't
that
know what's
review,
happening.
that good review.
I think the other thing that you have to sort of figure out for yourself is like, one, do I want to be taking those kind of photos? And two, can I?
Yeah.
Because like, and I say that in the sense that like, so the perfect example, the Dutch tilt that everyone's into.
Yeah.
It's not just that I hate it. It's that like, I'm not good at figuring out when those shots look good because that's not how I shoot. And like, there will be trend. Like I love trying like new trends. Like, I will call her out right now because I love her work. Brittany Boot. Have you met her?
Not yet.
She's great. She's awesome, and she took these portraits at one of the events we were at, and she was using like the plastic bag in front of the lens and the different materials,
Sure.
and using just like a hot light. I'm like, they're fucking gorgeous. They're amazing, and I'm like, I'm all about the creative shit. Like, I want to give this a try. So like,
Yeah.
I gave it a try, just like not for wedding, just for like studio stuff.
You loved it. It was cool.
No, I can't do
You
it.
can't do it. Oh,
I just like, and maybe that's me overanalyzing.
boomers
like
in the wild.
Right. I'm just like, I think in that setting, it was great. That's not me.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, that took me not 11 years of doing
But
this.
if you executed it, you would probably say, "Oh, this is me."
Maybe. But like, here's the thing. Like, I have been shooting photography as just for fun since I was 11. So you're talking, how many years is that? 39 years? No,
Sure.
29 years.
Sure.
It's taken me 29 years to be able to say that's not me.
Okay.
So if you are sitting here thinking like, am I that kind of photographer? Am I trendy? Am I classic? Like you don't need to know that yet. You need to know what's.
You might though, bro, because again, you might be left in the dust. That's the thing. Like, bro, a lot of these trendy photographers are racking it up. They're getting tons and tons and tons of clients.
Sure.
And they're charging more, which
Right.
is even crazier. Like that one girl that Rachel mentioned to me, one of her good friends who's a trendy photographer, her minimum package is $8,500 for 8 hours.
I'm gonna call you out and say you're not just wrong. Like you're good.
Damn.
This is a friendly warning to you
Okay.
because this happened to me and it sucked. But before I did photography, I was playing music for a living. And, it's really easy to take that job and maybe say like, oh, I'll use photography as an example, but I can shoot like that. I'll shoot like that and I'm going to bring in money because I'm shooting like that. Wouldn't it suck to start shooting like that and you're bringing in money? Like it's for what we're doing, it's like decent money. And then realizing 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, like I fucking hate this. Like, I
But
don't
bro,
like
it
this.
seems like trends though, like they don't last that long. Like there will be a new trend in the next 3 years.
So what are you going to do? Just like get really good at shooting this way and then say, oh, I'm going to pivot and shoot a completely different way? Like you can't.
But look at these seasoned photographers. It seems like now a lot of them are doing drone work. They're doing, direct flash and they're doing direct sunlight. They're changing their.
But their core stuff is no different. They're posting the trendy stuff, but I would argue that they're the stuff they've always done. Like go to their website. That's where you see it. Go to their portfolio stuff. You will see those trendy things, but you're also going to see their core, like who they are as photographers. And I think that if you lean too far into one direction, what happens if you fucking realize you hate it?
So does it even matter? Like, does that even matter? Because if a client is looking at like that old stuff and doesn't care about it, but cares about just the trendy stuff you post on Instagram, does that even matter what like anything else is? Like, does that matter? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, do you send full galleries when they inquire with you? Like, here, check out these full galleries.
Yeah.
So they're gonna see the other stuff too.
True.
If they're hiring you just for the trendy stuff, you're sounds like you're still gonna do it, but like you're not just gonna do that, right?
because think about how many times you've had clients inquire with you that have not asked for full gallery and be like, oh my God, I love your Instagram. I really want to book you.
So the first email I send Magda sends. Let's be honest.
Is galleries?
Is galleries.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's a whole response email, but also it's like, here's some full galleries to check out. Listen, if they don't look at them and book and then wonder why there's all these other photos in there, like that's your own.
That's actually
fault.
a good point. That's a good point.
Like,
That's a good point.
I will always argue like this work is in line with the galleries we sent you and every other gallery we've done.
True,
so like,
true.
I have no problem leaning into trends that you like and then maybe phasing those out and having some of it. But like, you have to have your core of what you shoot as a
what your
photographer,
identity is,
which isn't. I don't think is hard to do because it's how you're naturally going to do it. That's how your eye works. Like I feel like I can see a photo that you've shot now and know that you shot it, both by how you edit and focal lengths.
I wonder. So is it not okay to label yourself as just a trendy photographer? Like, this is just what I do. I'm just a trendy photographer.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be called that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's just
yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
And
Yeah.
that's the whole thing with labeling yourself as a photographer in general. Like, we used to call ourselves light and airy photographers, and if we even went back to that time, I would not call ourselves light and airy photographers. Not because that wasn't sort of how we shot. It's just like that is a very specific label that I don't think encapsulates everything we did.
Absolutely.
And the general term I use now, I mean, you can't even use one. What I tell couples is you're literally getting two styles when you book us. You're getting what I would consider to be the pretty fine art pictures from my wife, and you're getting the gritty documentary stuff from me.
Yeah.
And those two things are edited in a way that are cohesive in your gallery.
Right.
And you get basically two for the price of one.
There you go.
But there's no like term for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are, but I'm not fucking using that.
Yeah.
Don't put me in a box, Am.
Damn. No, you're right. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, it's about the client, right? So
It is.
whatever they want is what you should be able to provide for them.
Right. And you should also be able to say,
Yeah.
if these are the things you want, I might
can't
not
do it.
I might not be the
Right.
person for you.
Right.
And you have to be
Hire Anthony Page and yeah.
hire Ant Page. He'll shoot whatever
He'll
the fuck
do whatever
you want.
the fuck
Yeah.
you want. Okay, so like we're at the point in this episode where we do the hot button topic.
I'm ready. My body is ready.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So I feel like this has happened to the both of us at some point in our career where you hire a second shooter who you probably love or maybe someone you aren't too familiar with, and they give you their cards at the end of the night, and then you go and plug them into your computer and you realize that they shot maybe 4,000 more images than you actually shot on the wedding day. Now, for brides and grooms listening to this, you probably think that's not crazy, but you can agree to this, Simon. On a photographer's perspective, yeah, that's a lot. Because we're gonna have like at least 12,000 images to go through now.
Well, let me preface this with my second shooter is my wife. I've only worked with second shooters during 2021 when we were shooting like 1 billion weddings.
Yeah.
And they were mostly like new people, so didn't have that problem. Had other problems, but so step one is when they're not looking, you turn their camera onto single shot mode.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That sounds awful, dude.
Actually, that has happened to me. I mean, has it happened to you?
I mean,
at all?
I think not in that sense. Like someone comes in and takes that many photos, but like we used to just overshoot so fucking much. Just because, like, I think when you're new, like when we were you don't know any better. It's like
I feel like I still overshoot.
How many photos do you think you by yourself end up with at the end of the day without your second shooter?
Without my second, it's hard to say though. I feel like every wedding is different.
I'm usually roughly in the same amount.
Really?
It's like, yeah, I'm like usually like on my main camera, I'm right around like 2,400.
Okay.
And my second camera is anywhere between 900 and 1,800.
Okay. I'm a little bit more than that.
Maybe that's bad. I don't know. But
no, I would say probably between both cameras, on average, like 5,200 images.
That's like a little more than me, but
yeah.
But
Like
then you have
25
to add,
each.
But then you got to add a second shooter into it. I think
Right.
generally Magda and I are between 5,000 and 7,000 images.
We'll call him out. Nick, I'm talking about you.
I wasn't gonna say it, but you could say it. How many images do you shoot?
Oh my God, the wedding we just shot. After looking at the images, I wanted to just have a sit down with Nick. No, I'm kidding. That's
Poor
my
Nick.
guy. But he shot like
him.
over 7,000 images, and I'm like, God damn, bro.
I have this funny image of
Trying to
him
kill
just
me.
like super happy dancing, just.
Literally.
I know. Oh,
Nah,
Nick,
that's
buddy,
my
you're
guy.
better
I
than
love
that.
him. I love him. He's a good guy.
But I don't know. That sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're really like being a hot button topic here, I think that would be if it was someone that wasn't Nick, because
Yeah.
you just say Nick.
Right.
This is a lot of it. All right. But if it was someone else, like that's a sit down conversation.
Yeah, 100%.
Very much. Because like
100%.
there is, we are, full transparency, I am now outsourcing all post production, which is amazing because now I have time to spend not enough time editing this podcast.
Which is probably what other photographers might say is that like, hell, go shoot as much as you want.
You know what's crazy?
So I'm gonna outsource everything.
I know this is off topic, but like I feel like it hasn't changed how busy I am. I'm just busy with other things now, which I guess is good, but
yeah, busy's good.
But I guess that wasn't much of a hot button topic, but
maybe more of a rant, I guess.
That hot button rant is perfectly acceptable. It's episode 19, man.
Yeah,
it's not
man.
like a special thing or anything like
exactly.
that. But I think we definitely did talk about some good stuff, especially that fucking review. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll talk about this $10,000 lens you have there.
Say that louder, why don't you?
On that note, episode 19. This is a good one, man.
Now I have to take a picture. Take your picture with it.
On that note, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Peace.
If I don't get murdered by my spouse.
Bring the giants out, bring the giants out.